Hey guys, and this is Schmidteren here, and today I just wanted to talk about the things that have helped me the most becoming a better first-person shooter player. And these are things that I've learned from a lot of pro players that I've played a lot with, from when I played enemy territory, and hopefully some of them you can use, or yeah, if not, then then you at least can learn something, maybe, if you don't already know it, of course. But yeah, I've written down a list here with the things that I just came up with. So the first thing, which is the thing that probably out of all things that have helped my gameplay, is probably the one that helped me the most playing better. But of course, all of these things you have to remember is personal, and it's only things that have helped me. But yeah. So the first thing is mouse acceleration, turning that off, and just a quick little info about mouse acceleration. What it does is it increases your sensitivity, so it's not always the same. Increases on how fast you move it. The faster you move it, the more it increases, and keeps increasing like a keep increasing curve. I don't know how to say it, but hopefully you understand. So that's what mouse acceleration is, and it's actually turned on by default in Windows, and in Windows it's called enhanced mouse pointer precision. I think it's enhanced pointer precision. Yeah. But it's not what it is. It is mouse acceleration, and it doesn't enhance it. It decreases it, in my opinion. You can say it like this: if you want to give your brain a mathematical question, then each time you move your mouse 10 centimeters on your mouse pad, then it moves the exact same distance all the time if you have it off, all the time in your game and in everything. So you can get used to, okay, this distance is exactly that, bam, headshot. But if you have it on, then it's not always that, because it depends on how fast you move it, because then it increases. It's fluctuating constantly on how fast you move it, and keeps accelerating. So try to think about it like that. And I remember when the first time that I turned it off, because I had it on by default, I didn't know about it. And first of all, I saw people playing with who had it off, the pro players that I later became friends with and played with. Their mouse movement was just so superior, much more fluent and much better than mine. But I also had a lot higher sensitivity, so that's like the second thing: higher sensitivity. Try to lower your sensitivity plus turn off mouse acceleration. In the beginning, it's really hard because you're used to it the other way. It's always a curve. You need to go over the other side until you learn to have it off. But these two things, the two things that helped my gameplay increase a lot, and I became competitive with those pro players that I talked about. And it was actually a lot of the times when we played just private matches and also on servers, I was a lot of the time on the top of the scoreboards. So these are two things. And some other things, the third thing that I've written down is adjusting your key bindings, so that you have the things that you use the most are the closest to your fingers, or to especially the fingers that you are best with. For example, the reload button is really close to your pointing finger, and that's really good. And having as close those things that you use the most as close to your fingers as possible, and easily available. And then also having the things, like if you need to hold down a button, like throw a grenade and you need to hold it down, and you need a button that you need to be able to hold down but still be precise with the mouse, then also take that into consideration. So yeah, that was the third thing. Then the fourth thing is lowering something called M-pitch. And what M-pitch is actually just how fast your mouse moves up and down, and that's just it. Actually, it's because in first-person shooter games you need to be able to move 360 degrees around, do quick 180 degrees. Oh, there's someone behind me, I need to turn around real fast and shoot that guy. But you don't need to move as far up and down. You can't even move 180, you know, all the way down to all the way up. You can't even do that, and you don't need to. It's much easier having your mouse in head height, in the height that you need it to be. If you have it lower and you get used to that amount. I'm used to a lower amount, but I can't, unfortunately, in Black Ops 2, you can't change your M pitch, and that's really bullshit, because I'm used to playing it with a certain number, you know, that I've played with for over 10 years, so that's really, really bad. But anyways, in games where you can't do that, then change it to something, you know, try out what works for you, but lower it. It's really good lowering, in my opinion. Then my number 5 thing is, because of how the game engine in Call of Duty works, it is a Quake, modified Quake engine. And how that engine works is, if you cap your frames per second to a certain number, 76, 125 or 333, I suggest if you can have it capped on 125 or 333, but 333 is really, really hard in newer games, like, if not impossible. But having it at 125 or even 76 makes you jump higher, further, and faster. So it's a big advantage, especially for example in Call of Duty 4. There was a lot of jumps that I could do that you could only do if you have your frames per second capped at 125 or 333. Even with 76, they were not possible. And if it was fluctuating, there's no way you couldn't even do the basic jumps. So that's the 5th thing. There is the graphic side of things, and I'm not used to this. I have to get used to doing these long talk sessions, you know. But yeah, let's get to it so you don't have to hear me explaining. But the graphic settings, change them to the lowest possible settings. And why is because you need to get rid of as much you can on screen, so it's just you and you can see your enemies a lot better, you know. The less bushes, the less thing, and the more not detailed they are, the less they become one with the environment, and the easier they are to spot. So change your graphics to the lowest settings possible, but still have your native resolution, because it will be grainy if you go lower than your native resolution. And I still want it as sharp as possible. That's just my opinion. You can change it to lower if you want to get your frames per second a lot higher. But yeah, I really strive to get the native resolution of the screen to have it as sharp as possible. And then number 2, optimize your graphics card to performance instead of quality. That's a really quick one. You just go into your graphical settings on your graphics card and then just change it to performance instead of quality. Oh man, this is hard. And the 3rd and last one now. Change your Windows settings to best performance, so you get rid of all those crap animations running in the background. Just so you use minimal resources on Windows, because you're going to want to use your resources on the game to get as good performance in the game as possible. So yeah, these was the 8 things that I just could come up with, and I know I've been talking for 9 minutes now, so I'll cut it now. And hopefully you enjoyed this and could use these tips, and maybe there's something you didn't know and you can try out, and maybe it'll help you out, but or at least you get some insight to some of it. But yeah, as always guys, I hope you have a very good day, and see you later. Bye.